My daughter, who had always been so well behaved and obedient, suddenly started crying and screaming, demanding to go to Disneyland. When I said no, she started a hunger strike. I had no choice but to take her. Her father stayed behind, busy with work. The trip lasted half a month. I was exhausted, but my daughter whined that she hadn't had enough fun and wanted to stay longer. My boss had already been urging me to come back after such a long leave. I went ahead and booked a flight for the next day, ready to go home. But I never expected to overhear my daughter on the phone with her father in the middle of the night. "Daddy, is Teacher Shan Shan feeling better? Mom and I are coming back tomorrow. No matter how much I begged, it didn't work. You need to hurry and help Teacher Shan Shan pack her things and leave our house. Don't let Mom find out, okay?" I had turned over in the middle of the night and suddenly realized my daughter wasn't beside me. A jolt of panic shot through me, and I sat bolt upright. The bedroom door was open, and the rest of the suite was dark. In the quiet space, I could faintly hear my daughter's voice coming from the living room. I frowned. What was this child doing up so late? Getting out of bed, I walked out of the bedroom and saw my daughter's small figure crouched on the balcony, a smartwatch in her hand. "Daddy, is Teacher Shan Shan feeling better? Does she like our house? Mom and I are coming back tomorrow. I wanted to stay a few more days so Teacher Shan Shan could stay at our house longer, but no matter how much I begged, it didn't work. Mom is so annoying. It's all her fault. Otherwise, I could be at home with you and Teacher Shan Shan. Daddy, you need to hurry and help Teacher Shan Shan pack her things and leave our house. Don't let Mom find out, okay?" Just moments before, I had been worried about my daughter. Now, it was as if I'd been plunged into an icy abyss. My mind buzzed, and the blood in my veins seemed to freeze solid. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The husband I loved most, and the precious daughter I had adored for 8 years, had actually conspired to deceive me. All for a woman named Shan Shan. Teacher Shan Shan. I looked at the smartwatch in my daughter's hand and suddenly remembered. Teacher Shan Shan was my daughter's calligraphy instructor at her tutoring center. This smartwatch was a gift from her. At the time, I had told my husband, Lu Heng, to return it. How could a student accept such an expensive gift from a teacher? Lu Heng agreed, but our daughter threw a fit. She cried, saying it was a prize from Teacher Shan Shan for winning first place in her group's calligraphy competition. If we returned it, it meant I didn't acknowledge her achievement. I had no choice. I added Teacher Shan Shan on WeChat, arranged to meet her, and gave her a bottle of designer perfume as a reciprocal gift. I never imagined this smartwatch would become a tool for my daughter to conspire with them. "Mom!" My daughter stood up and saw me, her eyes filled with panic. I composed myself and forced a smile. "What are you doing up so late?" She was just a child, and her eyes darted around as she lied. I just missed Daddy, so I gave him a call. Mom, I'm so sleepy. I'm going to bed." She even put on a show, letting out a big yawn. As she passed me, I stopped her. My voice trembled with a hint of dread. "Do you love Mommy?" My daughter turned and threw herself into my arms, nuzzling her face against me just like she did when she was 2 or 3. Yinuo loves Mommy the most and Daddy the most. Watching her walk back to the bedroom, it felt like 2 little figures were fighting in my head. One said it was probably a misunderstanding. The other said I should look for clues. Once the seed of doubt is planted, it only grows deeper. I sat on the sofa in the dark and tapped on Teacher Shan Shan's profile picture. When I first added her, I had specifically set the privacy to chat only. This was the first time I had ever looked at her Moments feed. The latest post was from today. "What to do when your boyfriend is so clingy?" The accompanying photo showed her lying on a bed in a sexy slip dress, a man's hand resting on her waist. Staring at the screen, my hands began to tremble, and my breathing grew ragged. A single tear splashed onto the phone screen, and then they came uncontrollably. I threw the phone aside and covered my face with my hands, tears streaming through my fingers. The background was so familiar, the decorations so familiar, the bed so familiar, even the photo of me on the nightstand was clearly visible. And the owner of that hand was none other than the man I had been in love with for 7 years and married to for 9, Lu Heng. I had never thought my husband would cheat on me, just as I had never thought the man, who loved me more than life itself, would one day betray me. We were each other's first love. At 17, Lu Heng and I met in high school. I was always a top student, while he was the type of person the teachers said would disturb others even while sleeping in class. During a class-wide peer tutoring initiative, I was assigned to be his deskmate, responsible for supervising his studies. At first, I truly disliked him. Not only did he not study, but he constantly distracted me when I was trying to. During the lunch break, he would trace circles on my back. When I fell behind during gym class runs, he would always double back from the front of the pack to run beside me, endlessly teasing me. When a group of troublemakers from the next class cornered me after school because they thought I was pretty, he was the one who rushed in and fought 4 or 5 of them. He got a dislocated arm protecting me. My impression of him changed that day. Later, his grades did improve, though he was still far behind me. To attend university in the same city as me, he enrolled in a less competitive university in the same city. During Christmas of our freshman year, he confessed his feelings, and we naturally got together. During winter break, his father had an affair and his parents divorced. His mother developed depression and committed suicide after the semester started. He locked himself in his room for 3 days and 3 nights. When I finally saw him, he clung to me and wept. He said he hated cheaters more than anything. He said, "Joy, you are the only family I have in this life. I, Lu Heng, swear on my life that I will only love you. My heart, my body, my love, it all belongs only to you. If I ever break this vow, may I die a horrible death." After that, we graduated from university, and he met my parents. They were very pleased with him. Then came a grand wedding. In the 2nd year of our marriage, I nearly gave my life to give birth to the fruit of our love. Lu Heng named our daughter Lu Yinyuo. The name signified that Lu Heng's promise, Yinyuo, to Joy would never change. We became a happy family of 3. With a child to provide for, Lu Heng worked even harder. In just 2 years, he rose to a management position in his company. I was promoted soon after. Life got better and better, but Lu Heng started coming home later and later. He would often return in the dead of night. Each time, he would hold me close and whisper, "Honey, I love you so, so much. We have to be together forever." And each time, I would feel incredibly sweet. My friends and colleagues all envied me for having such a good husband. But now that this facade of love had been torn away, the truth was so ugly. I didn't look at any more of Zhao Shan's posts. A woman's intuition about a mistress told me that everything she posted was likely visible only to me. That one post was enough to confirm Lu Heng's infidelity. There was no need to torture myself further. I drafted a divorce agreement that very night and signed it. When we landed, Lu Heng was at the arrival's gate, waving at us from a distance. As soon as our daughter saw him, she ran straight into his arms. Lu Heng held our daughter with one arm and wrapped the other around me. His voice was full of feigned grievance. "Honey, why were you gone for so long? Did you forget you have a husband waiting at home? I missed you to death." He leaned in to kiss me. The thought of that mouth having kissed someone else countless times made me sick to my stomach. I subtly turned away. "Stop it, there are people everywhere," I said coolly. Lu Heng pouted, looking wronged. Our daughter giggled. "Daddy, you only think about mommy, don't you miss me?" "Of course I miss my little princess. Wait till we get home and see what Daddy got for you." I watched the father and daughter walk ahead of me, just like any other day. If I hadn't overheard that secret phone call, would I have gone my whole life without ever finding out? Back home, the apartment was clean and tidy. My eyes immediately fell on the vase on the dining table. When did we get a new vase? Lu Heng froze for a second, then explained calmly, "I accidentally broke the old one a couple of days ago, so I bought a new one. What do you think? Not bad taste, right?" I said nothing. I could tell it wasn't his taste. In all our years together, Lu Heng had never paid any attention to things like this in the house. Someone else had been in our home. As for why the vase on the table was broken, or what they had been doing on that table, I couldn't know. I didn't want to think about it. I was afraid I would throw up. Standing at the bedroom door with my luggage, I hesitated. "What's wrong?" Lu Heng came over and asked. I shook my head and went inside. The bedroom looked the same as when I left, except for the new set of sheets and duvet cover. If I hadn't seen that social media post, I would have thought it was all a terrible mistake. Lu Heng hugged me from behind, resting his chin on my shoulder. "Honey, I missed you so much. Don't go away for so long again, not even with our daughter. You have no idea how poorly I sleep without you here. Look at my dark circles." He leaned in to kiss me again. The thought that he had just recently kissed and held another woman, whispering sweet nothings to her on another body, and was now doing the same to me, made my stomach churn. I gently pushed him away. Before, I didn't know. I thought this was how he showed his love. Now I knew. This was all just compensation for his guilt over cheating, a way to soothe his own conscience. I looked at his face, my fists clenching unconsciously. Yes, his dark circles were quite heavy. It seemed that while I was away, He and that bitch had been working overtime to get their thrills. His face was sallow. He was lucky he hadn't died in bed. Lu Heng looked at me confused. Joy, what's wrong? You look so pale. Are you not feeling well? He reached up to feel my forehead, his eyes full of concern. You don't have a fever. I took a step back. I'm probably just tired from the past few days. I haven't been resting well. Then a thought struck me. My parents said they miss our daughter. Why don't you take her over for a bit? Lu Heng nodded. I'll be quick. You get some sleep here at home. He gave me a quick peck on the cheek. The moment he turned around, I fought the urge to vomit and wiped my face furiously. Listening to the sound of them leaving, I began to survey the bedroom. Although Lu Heng had cleaned up well, leaving no obvious traces, a woman like Zhao Shanshan, who had gone to such lengths to get into my home, wouldn't leave without planting some evidence for me to find. I glanced at the perfectly smooth bed, and with all my strength, lifted the mattress. Sure enough, tucked under the edge was a pair of white lace panties. My fingers dug into the mattress. In that moment, rage overwhelmed the heartache. Who could have imagined that this warm, loving home would bear the traces of another woman? I took out my phone and snapped a picture of the panties. Then I found a file folder and placed them inside. Just as I finished, my mother called. Lu Heng hadn't taken our daughter there. They had been gone for over an hour. Where did they go? Although I already had a good idea, I called him to confirm. He answered quickly. Lu Heng, my mom just called and said you didn't bring Yinuo over. Where are you? It was noisy on his end, but his tone was as gentle as ever. I forgot to tell you, it's her calligraphy class. The teacher called suddenly today to say they were handing out new textbooks. We're at the tutoring center. Our daughter is right here. I'll let her say a few words. Soon, my daughter's sweet voice came through the phone. Mommy, I can't go to Grandma's today. Teacher Shan Shan is teaching new material, and there's an evening class too. Daddy and I might be home late, so don't worry about us. I was holding another phone, looking at Zhao Shan Shan's Moments feed, updated 3 minutes ago. So many people said we look like a family of 3 today. Below was a picture. Zhao Shan Shan was crouching down, with Lu Heng and our daughter on either side, kissing her cheeks. And now I was listening to their lies. New textbooks. Evening class. I bit my lips so hard I could taste blood, but I didn't let go. I didn't understand. Men can't control their desires and cheat, but why did the child I carried for 10 months have to betray me too? What was so wrong with me that my own daughter would willingly help her father lie to me so he could go on a date with his mistress? Forcing the words past the lump in my throat, I asked my daughter softly, Yinuo, we're mother and daughter. Would you ever lie to mommy for someone else? Even at this point, I still held a sliver of hope for the daughter I had doted on since birth. If she chose my side, I could forgive what she had done. When we divorced, I would fight Lu Heng for custody. But reality slapped me in the face once again. My daughter answered without hesitation, Yinuo loves mommy the most. Why would I lie to you? Okay, mommy, I have to go to class now. Bye-bye. Listening to the dial tone, I clenched my fists, letting the tears fall as a low, bitter laugh escaped my lips. A profound sadness washed over me. Thinking of all I had given to this family, to my daughter, over the years felt like a cruel joke. If Lu Heng's betrayal was anger and heartache, then Lu Yinuo's was a chilling disappointment. This was the home I had decorated with my own hands, but now every corner felt tainted with their disgusting scent. I couldn't stand it for another second. I picked up my still unpacked suitcase, placed the divorce agreement on the table, and drove to a hotel to check in. On the way, I mailed Zhao Shan Shan's panties directly to her workplace and sent the screenshot of her post to the director of the tutoring center. I included a note. One of your female teachers left her underwear on my bed. I've mailed them to the school. From discovering Lu Heng's affair to moving out of the home I'd lived in for 9 years, it turned out that a 16-year relationship could be ended in just a few short hours. When I first found out, I thought about screaming and shouting, about slapping him and demanding to know why he lied. I wanted to have a heart-wrenching cry. I even started to doubt myself, wondering what I had done wrong for both Lu Heng and Lu Yinuo to prefer Zhao Shan Shan. But then I thought it through. I shouldn't punish myself for someone else's mistake. Perhaps Lu Heng's true nature had finally been exposed after all these years. As for Lu Yinuo, I could only say that genetics were a powerful thing. She had completely inherited her father's traits. But if we were talking about inheritance, it probably started with Lu Heng's own father. I kept my phone on, waiting for Lu Heng to come home, see the divorce papers, and call me. It wasn't until 8 o'clock that night that he finally called. His breathing was a little unsteady, but his voice was full of concern. Joy, are you feeling any better? Our daughter's class is over. I dropped her off at your parents' place. I have to work late at the office tonight. I clearly heard Lu Heng let out a soft moan. After so many years together, after countless nights as husband and wife, I knew exactly what that sound meant. So, he couldn't even wait a moment. He spent the day on a date with her, with our daughter in tow. And now, without even taking the time to go home and see the divorce agreement, he was with her while calling to lie to me. I gripped the phone tightly. Even though my heart felt like it was being torn to shreds, I forced myself to sound calm. What was that? Nothing, I just hiccuped. Lu Heng pushed down Zhao Shanshan's mischievous head. Zhao Shanshan leaned in to kiss him. Lu Heng, shocked by her boldness, pushed her away and explained, flustered and guilty, Joy, if you're hungry, just order something for yourself. Take care of yourself. I have more work to do, so I'll hang up now. Tossing the phone aside, Lu Heng pulled Zhao Shanshan into his arms. Didn't I tell you not to mess around? Why don't you listen? Zhao Shanshan cooed. Are you that afraid of her finding out? If she finds out, you two can just get a divorce. At her words, Lu Heng's face darkened. I told you before we got together, I am not getting a divorce. Seeing his anger, Zhao Shanshan quickly kissed him, trying to appease him. All right, don't be mad. Don't ruin the mood. Lu Heng's eyes lit up, and he eagerly kissed her back. I sat by the bay window in my hotel room, replaying every moment of our time together. I realized that for the past 2 years, he had said more than once in bed, Joy, your skin is so delicate. I'm always afraid to be too rough, afraid I'll hurt you. I would shyly ask if he wasn't satisfied. He would hold me, his voice always so tender. Joy, I love you, I cherish you. So, he hadn't rotted overnight. He had been having these thoughts for a long time, or perhaps he had already tasted the thrill of wildness back then. I didn't want to think about it anymore. For years, he had touched other women and then come back to be intimate with me. It was truly disgusting. After so many years together, it would be a lie to say I wasn't sad. When I learned he was being intimate with another woman, it felt like my world was collapsing. The pain was so intense I could barely breathe, and I even thought about ending it all. But when I came to my senses, I realized how foolish that idea was. What good would my death do? Lu Heng might be sad for a while, but then he would just carry on with Zhao Shanshan even more brazenly. He might even marry her. That would be sacrificing myself to fulfill their desires. In the end, the only ones left in unbearable pain would be my parents. I watched until the sky turned a fish belly white, and the sun slowly rose. A new day had begun. I got myself together and went to the office early. The marriage had to end, but work and life had to go on. After a half-month vacation, my work had piled up mountain high. When my colleague Anna brought some documents for me to sign, she couldn't resist teasing me. Director Kaio, how was the Disney trip? You look exhausted, and your eyes are all swollen. I touched my eyes and managed a weak, bitter smile. Probably just tired. I haven't been sleeping well. Anna patted my shoulder. Let's go out for a nice lunch, my treat. I shook my head. Come on, come on. Tell me all about Disneyland. I've never been. I want my boyfriend to take me during the next holiday. I had no choice but to agree. After another half hour of work, my phone rang shrilly. It was Lu Heng. It seemed he hadn't gone home all night. Given the time, Zhao Shanshan had probably been called in by her boss to identify the underwear, and he had only just received the news. That's why he was calling now. As I answered, I was curious to hear what he would say. Lu Heng's anxious, frantic voice immediately came through the phone. Joy, I can explain. It's not what you think. Teacher Shanshan and I have nothing going on. Our daughter asked us to take that picture. Yesterday was Teacher Shanshan's birthday, and when we went to her class, she hadn't eaten yet. Our daughter said she was hungry, so we all went out to eat together. I couldn't believe that even at this point, he was still lying to me. Did he really see me as a fool who would believe anything he said? I had truly misjudged him. Is that so? What a coincidence. And I suppose she accidentally left her underwear behind too. Joy, please, don't ask, don't ask. We've been together for so many years, you have to trust me. No matter what happens, I love you. There has never been a moment I stopped loving you. We have a lovely daughter, we're a family. Joy, you are the person I love most, the most important person to me. Let's not say anything. Let's just pretend some things never happened and keep things as they were, okay? Joy, please. By the end, Lu Heng's voice was choked with tears. He kept asking me, okay, begging me through the phone. It was just like when he was 18, when he got beaten black and blue by the troublemakers from the next class to protect me. I had stood there helplessly, tears streaming down my face. Back then, he had used his one good arm to wipe my tears. Even though his face was pale with pain, he had gently coaxed me. "Joy, please don't cry, okay? Joy, it breaks my heart to see you cry. Please stop, okay? Joy, I'm fine, I'm not going to die. I won, I beat them all away. From now on, if anyone bullies you, I'll beat them up for you." Looking at his foolish expression, I couldn't help but ask with red eyes, "Liu Heng, what if the person who bullies me in the future is you?" His trembling voice continued on the phone, filled with an indescribable panic and fear. I asked him the same question again. "Liu Heng, what if the person who bullies me in the future is you?" The other end of the line went silent, except for the sound of heavy breathing. I knew he remembered. After a long moment, he spoke with determination. "Joy, I will not leave you. The divorce agreement is on the table. Sign it." After saying that, I hung up. I clutched my chest, tilting my head back to keep the tears from falling. Even after being hurt so many times, each instance felt like my heart was being flayed, an excruciating pain. How many 16-year periods does a person get in one lifetime? Liu Heng had occupied most of my life, my most beautiful memories. And now, I was being told that those beautiful memories had long since rotted, turned black and foul. How was I supposed to accept that? I, Joy Kaio, am not someone who can't let go. Even if tearing myself away would be bloody and agonizing, I would treat it as a rebirth from the ashes. When I went to lunch with Anna, the restaurant she chose was a 15-minute drive away. The hostess led us directly to a private room. Unexpectedly, we ran into Liu Heng there. To be precise, Liu Heng was in the private room next to ours. The door to their room was ajar, and my colleague saw him first. "Joy, doesn't that look like your husband in there?" Liu Heng often picked me up from work and would order afternoon tea for my colleagues, so they were all familiar with him. I followed her gaze. The people in the room were all Liu Heng's friends. Liu Heng was sitting with his side to the door, and next to him was Zhao Shanshan. "Heng, what do we do now? The whole school knows. I've lost my job," she said, starting to cry. Liu Heng just sat there with a dark, furrowed brow, not comforting her. It was one of his friends who spoke up. "Don't cry, Shanshan. Heng will figure something out. Worst case, he can support you." The others chimed in with agreement. I listened to their conversation, numb. Just 2 hours ago, Liu Heng had called, begging me to pretend nothing had happened. Now he was back with Zhao Shanshan. Liu Heng cared so much for her. Even his friends had accepted her, calling her Shanshan so familiarly. I remembered how at every gathering, they used to call me sister-in-law. It turned out it wasn't out of respect, but to differentiate. Anna sensed something was wrong. She looked at me with concern and pulled me to stand against the wall. Zhao Shanshan, emboldened by his affection, said, "Heng, since she's the one who wants a divorce, we can just get married." Suddenly, there was the sound of a glass shattering, followed by Liu Heng's furious voice. "I am not divorcing Joy. Joy is the only wife I will ever have in my life. No one can replace her." Zhao Shanshan started crying pitifully. One of his friends spoke up. "Heng, your wife knows everything now. You know what she's like. What if she insists on a divorce?" Liu Heng replied with certainty, "She won't. I know her. She loves me very much and she loves our child. For years, her entire heart has been devoted to our family, to me and our child. A 16-year relationship can't be broken just like that. As long as I sincerely apologize and beg for her forgiveness, it's only a matter of time before she gives in. She loves me just as much as I love her." Even though I had already sentenced Liu Heng in my heart, hearing those words still sent a dense wave of pain through my chest. How laughable. All my years of devotion to our family and relationship had, in his eyes, become leverage he could use to control me, a bargaining chip to make me compromise. Seeing how pale I was, Anna squeezed my hand and whispered, "Joy, do you want me to go in there with you and beat up that wretched pair?" I didn't say a word. Instead, I pushed the door open and stood in the doorway. One of them heard the noise and instinctively looked up. The moment he saw me, the food fell from his chopsticks onto the table. "Sister-in-law, what are you doing here?" His words were followed by a dead silence in the room. Liu Heng shoved Zhao Shanshan off him and looked at me in a panic, striding towards me. "Joy, I'm just having a meal with my buddies, it's nothing." I calmly looked at the people in the room. As my gaze swept over them, they all lowered their heads in guilt. Only Zhao Shanshan had a triumphant look in her eyes that was practically spilling over. She followed Liu Heng, linking her arm with his and smiling provocatively at me. The next second, Lu Heng recoiled as if he'd been pricked by a porcupine, forcefully shaking her off. Joy, it's not what you think. I can explain. My gaze returned to the man before me, whose face was familiar but whose heart I could no longer see. Lu Heng, I don't even want to talk about what you've done. Just sign the divorce papers and let's not waste each other's time. After all, your next in line is waiting. Perhaps because he had just been boasting to his friends that I wouldn't divorce him, he couldn't handle the loss of face. He grabbed my wrist, his tone hardening. Joy, let's talk about this at home. I am not getting a divorce. Yinuo is still so young, she can't be without her mother. We've been together for so many years, I can't be without you either. Some things should just be left alone. Left alone. He was telling me not to make a scene, to know when to stop. Not that he was wrong for cheating. I yanked my hand away and slapped him across the face. Lu Heng, you don't deserve to mention all those years. The Lu Heng I loved died long before he betrayed me. Even at this point, you're still trying to use our child to blackmail me. Let me tell you, the moment Lu Yinuo conspired with you to lie to me, helping you and your mistress hide things from me, I no longer wanted that child. Lu Heng hadn't expected me to say that. He stumbled back a few steps, staring at me in disbelief. Zhao Shanshan rushed to his side and glared at me. What right do you have to hit him? If he can be with me, shouldn't you reflect on yourself? I sneered and gave her 2 slaps. Zhao Shanshan shrieked, clutching her face. I pointed a finger at her, my presence commanding. You slept with my husband, came into my house, fooled around in my bed, left your slutty underwear, and posted all those pictures on your feed. Wasn't it also I would find out? You actually feel superior for being a mistress, don't you? You're the mistress, so you deserve those 2 slaps. Even now, this man is begging me not to divorce him. You can't even get him to marry you. You're a failure as a mistress. You're the one who should be reflecting on yourself. Maybe you're not competent enough for the role. Maybe you're not trying hard enough in bed, which is why you can't secure your position. My words left Zhao Shanshan stunned. She turned to Lu Heng, looking wronged, hoping he would stand up for her. But Lu Heng didn't even glance at her. His eyes were fixed on me, filled with pain. Enraged, Zhao Shanshan lunged at me like a madwoman. Anna, who had been holding back, stepped in front of me, grabbed her by the hair and threw her aside. I've seen it all now. The mistress wants to hit the wife. If you're going to be a mistress, you should have some self-awareness. You deserve more than just a couple of slaps. You deserve to be scorned by everyone. I didn't want to look at them for another second. Anyone who could be such good friends with Lu Heng, and except Zhao Shanshan was no good either. I took Anna's arm to leave, but Lu Heng couldn't help but call out my name. I didn't turn back, my voice was calm. Sign the papers, divorce. With that, I walked away with Anna, not looking back. We never did get to eat lunch. Anna cursed that wretched pair all the way back. I remained silent. I was past the stage of anger and heartache. Now, all I wanted was to get the divorce over with and never see Lu Heng again. In the days that followed, Lu Heng didn't contact me. I had to contact him, urging him to finalize the divorce. But his phone would ring and go unanswered. Lu Yinuo was staying with my parents. I casually asked them and found out that Lu Heng had told them 3 days ago that he had to go out of town on business. They didn't know where he went. Lu Yinuo took the phone at one point and chattered on about many things. She was my own flesh and blood. Even though my heart had grown cold, I couldn't be completely cruel to her. After much preamble, she finally asked her real question. Mommy, I haven't seen teacher Shanshan in a long time. I miss her. I closed my eyes and let out a self-deprecating laugh. She'll be fine. Maybe she'll be your new mommy soon. Really? Lu Yinuo exclaimed with delight. I couldn't listen anymore and hung up. The next day, while I was at work, Zhao Shanshan showed up. She looked haggard. The moment she saw me, she started shouting without any regard for her image. Joy, did you hide Lu Heng from me? Let me tell you, he doesn't love you anymore. He and I are the perfect match. You probably don't even know, every time he told you he was working late, he was actually in my bed. He told me countless times that I'm the one he loves most. I gave her a cool glance, so Lu Heng wasn't with her. I sneered. The perfect match, in bed. Well, maybe he's found someone even more compatible now, lost in some other woman's arms. Why would he have time for you? That one sentence made Zhao Shanshan break down. She started screaming like a madwoman. To avoid disturbing others, I had security escort her out. I wasn't worried about something happening to Lu Heng. I was worried he was deliberately dragging out the divorce. 2 days later, Lu Heng called me. He wanted to talk. There was really nothing left to talk about. But he suggested we meet at our old high school. I hadn't been back since starting university. After we got married, my parents moved near us, and our old house was rented out. It had been almost 10 years since I'd been back. I agreed. It was fitting, let it end where it began. We met on a Sunday. The old security guard was still there. I remembered when I was a student, he was not yet 40. Now, his temples were gray. He recognized us at a glance. "Hey, it's you too. What brings you back today? I haven't seen you in years." I smiled and greeted him. The guard looked us up and down, a look of satisfaction on his face. I never would have thought. The skinny little girl who was always the first to arrive at school has grown into such a beautiful woman. And this boy, he used to stick to you like a shadow. It's so good to see you're still together. You two are married, right? I pressed my lips together and said nothing. Lu Heng smiled. Not only married, our daughter is already 8 years old. I glanced at him, but didn't say anything. A divorce wasn't something you had to announce to everyone you met. The guard said good several times and opened the gate for us. Looking at the familiar campus, the familiar classrooms and desks, my mind was pulled back to that afternoon in high school. The wind rustled the curtains, and the leaves of the camphor tree outside cast dancing shadows on them. I was resting my head on the desk, and the flickering sunlight made me frown. That boy had held up his notebook, shielding me from the sun for a full hour. "Joy, do you remember that spot? That's where we used to sit." Lu Heng's voice pulled me back to reality. The person in my memories was long gone. Memories are called memories because reality is too cruel, and things are no longer the same. I looked at him with cold eyes. "Aren't we here to talk about the divorce? We can talk now." Lu Heng avoided the question. "Joy, you haven't eaten, have you? Let's talk after we eat. I noticed on the way here that the little snack shop across from the school is still open. Let's go check it out." At the snack shop, Lu Heng ordered the same snacks we used to eat in school. The owner had a sharp eye and recognized us. "After all these years, your tastes haven't changed. Still love these things. So, young man, did you win the girl over?" Lu Heng scratched his head and smiled. "I did. She's my wife now, and we have an 8-year-old daughter." The owner smiled and said she'd give us a dish on the house, remarking that not many people get to live out a love story from school uniforms to wedding gowns like us. I refused directly and explained, "No need to trouble yourself. Happiness is just an illusion. We're getting a divorce." "Joy." The owner looked at us awkwardly and tried to smooth things over. There are always frictions in life. A young couple with so many years together and a child just talk things out. Lu Heng nodded, as if he'd found an ally, and agreed vehemently. "That's right, Joy. Let's talk things through properly. Don't just bring up divorce over every little thing." I half raised my eyes, my tone calm. He cheated. The mistress even moved into our house. Now, not only the owner but everyone else in the shop was staring at him like he was trash. I let out a cold laugh, stood up and left. Lu Heng followed me out, his face dark. "Joy, I've begged you so much. What more do you want from me?" I stopped and looked at him, my eyes filled with nothing but coldness and disgust. "A divorce? Lu Yinuo is yours, I don't want her. Since you'll be raising the child, I won't make you leave with nothing. We'll split the assets 50-50. Give me my half of the property in cash." Lu Heng clutched his head, pacing anxiously. "Joy, do you really have to get a divorce? You're giving up our daughter too? How can you be so heartless?" He called me heartless. How could he even say that? "You betrayed our 16-year relationship. Weren't you heartless? You brought that woman into my home, fooled around in my bed. Weren't you heartless? You had the daughter I gave birth to help you lie to me. Weren't you heartless? You used our relationship and our child to make me compromise. Weren't you heartless? All I want now is a divorce. I don't want to be in this disgusting marriage, and I don't want to see your disgusting, lie-filled face. What right do you have to call me heartless? What right do you have? When your father ran off with a mistress and abandoned you and your mother, what did you say? Your mother was driven to depression by that mistress. Are you trying to drive me to my death too?" With every word, I took a step closer, forcing Lu Heng to back away until he collapsed onto the ground. He was already sobbing uncontrollably. "Joy, I really know I was wrong. It was because of the pressure from work. I couldn't take it out on you. You're the person I love most. How could I be rough with you? She just happened to appear then. I was possessed. The one I've always loved is you. I never thought about divorcing you, and I never planned to be with her for long." Lu Heng's hands trembled as he showed me his phone. "I've already broken up with her. Look, I've blocked her. Joy, let's start over, please." His voice was so scared, so frantic. What was he afraid of? Was he afraid of losing me? Were his tears proof that he cared about me? Then why did Zhao Shan exist? In that moment, I suddenly understood. He didn't know he was wrong, nor had he repented. He was just out of options. If I hadn't found out, he would have continued his act, deceiving me. He just never expected me to be so resolute. I looked around, my eyes turning red. Lu Heng, do you remember this place? Lu Heng nodded like a bobblehead. Of course I remember. This is where I fought for you, and from that day on, your feelings for me changed. You stopped disliking me. Joy, think about how we were back then. Give me one more chance. I tilted my head back, trying to hold back the tears, but they fell anyway. I gently wiped them away and managed a smile. Lu Heng relaxed slightly, thinking I had forgiven him. He never expected my next words to turn his face pale. Lu Heng, that day I asked you, what if the person who bullies me in the future is you? You never answered me. I want you to answer me now. Joy. Say it. Lu Heng shook his head. Joy, don't. I took a step forward, bent down, and grabbed his collar. I glared at him with red eyes and roared, what the hell did you say back then? Answer me. Tell me. No, Joy, give me a chance. I promise I'll only be with you from now on. I slapped him hard across the face. Answer me, what the hell did you say? If I, Lu Heng, ever bully Joy, hurt Joy, or make Joy cry, I will punish myself by never seeing her again for the rest of my life, and I will endure the pain of longing for her forever. Lu Heng's voice seemed to overlap with the voice of the boy from over a decade ago. The vow from back then still echoed in my ears. I let go of him and took 2 steps back. So, let's get a divorce. We will never see each other again. Lu Heng buried his head in his hands and wept in despair. Without another glance, I turned and walked away. Lu Heng finally agreed to the divorce. He gave me all the assets, including the house. I didn't refuse. Who would say no to more money? We could only get the divorce certificate after a 1-month cooling-off period. During this time, I told my parents about it. They didn't say much, just sighed softly. Lu Heng picked up Lu Yinyuo. He rented an apartment and moved out with our daughter. I listed our house with a real estate agent to sell it. On the last day of the cooling-off period, I was heading back to my parents' place after work. I saw Lu Yinyuo hiding by the entrance to the building. When she saw me, she threw herself into my arms, nuzzling against me and holding on tight. Mommy, I miss you so much. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have lied to you. I'm not a good girl. Can you forgive Yinyuo? Yinyuo can't live without Mommy. I haven't seen you in so long. Daddy said you're getting a divorce and I won't be able to see you anymore. Mommy, don't you want Yinyuo anymore? I pulled her out of my embrace and knelt down to look at her. The child's tear-streaked face no longer stirred any sympathy in me. You will always be my child, and I will fulfill my duties as a mother, but I will not love you anymore. Can you understand that? No, Yinyuo doesn't understand. Yinyuo doesn't want to leave Mommy. If you don't understand now, you will later. I stood up and called Lu Heng, telling him to come and pick up Lu Yinyuo. As Lu Heng carried her away, she was still clutching my clothes, crying and screaming that she didn't want to leave. I pulled her hand off me, turned around, and walked away without any hesitation. The moment I got the divorce certificate, I felt an incredible sense of relief, as if a huge weight had been lifted from my entire body. Lu Heng looked at me and finally asked the question, Joy, can we still? I cut off any hope he had. We have no relationship anymore. For the rest of my life, I never want to see you again. I wasn't so cruel as to publicize his affair at his company. After all, he still had a child to raise. But Zhao Shan was a different story. She went to his office every day to cause a scene. She would shout that Lu Heng had slept with her and was now refusing to take responsibility. If he didn't marry her, she would keep coming back every day. Amidst the strange looks from his colleagues and superiors, Lu Heng resigned and planned to move to another city. But Zhao Shan wouldn't let him go. After her repeated marriage proposals were rejected, she went mad and drove her car straight at him and our daughter. Lu Heng, in an effort to protect our daughter, was sent flying by the impact. Zhao Shan was arrested on the spot, and Lu Heng was rushed to the hospital. He survived thanks to timely medical intervention, but he would never be able to walk again. Perhaps this was his retribution.